What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach Key, and welcome to Legends of Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week was Patreon's choice. 40% went one way and 40% went another route. So I picked between the two of them, and I went with Mausritter. So today we're going to do a quick review on Mausritter, which is an OSR light rule system. It is a really cool game. I like it a lot. Shouts out to Brian for taking the time to put me on to Mausritter. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for all of the support that you've done for the channel thus far. And the other half of the Patreons went with 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a solo adventure wargaming. I have yet to play this. So next week, Mrs. Coach and I will be doing a session 0 with this, character creation and campaign prep. I'm looking forward to, I have yet to play this, so I'm looking forward to playing this, and it'd be super cool to play this for the very first time with Mrs. Coach. So definitely stay tuned next week to our session 0 with 5 Parsecs from Home. Don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It helps YouTube push it out to more and more people, which is super, super helpful. If you'd like to further support the channel beyond what you already do, make sure you hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends of Dice Cafe. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this really, really cool game. I'm excited, and I'm actually super excited and looking forward to running this. So yeah, let's do it. Now, let's get into it. So Mausritter is a pay what you want. So if I was you, I'd absolutely give this a try. This is a very cool game. So Mausritter, Sword and Whiskers role-playing game. So as you can see, you're playing little mice. In the very front, your information for your gear and your prices. And right here, it does give some acknowledgements about where they... So these are the game or blogs I have drawn inspiration or shamelessly stolen to build Mausritter. Into the Odd, I've heard of, I have not tried. Goblin Punch, I've never heard of, but now I'm interested in taking a look into it. Knave, I'm familiar with. Mothership. Moonhop, I'm not familiar with. Last Gasp. Grimoire is also new. Coins and Scrolls is also new. So I'll definitely take the time out to look those up. I've been curious about Into the Odd. So like I said, you are playing as mice, abandoning the warmth and safety of your settlements and venturing forth into dark and dangerous places. I like this part, making it your own. Mausritter was built on top of a long history of games. It is resilient to hacking. Many systems can be modified, replaced, or ignored entirely. Please use this game as a toolbox to create your own. It goes right into your character creation, how you're making a mouse. So the world is very big and dangerous for a small mouse adventurer. You need to be very brave and always keep your wits about you. And for your attribute, you've got strength, dexterity, and will. I love the simplicity of just those 3 attributes. I love playing D&D. I also love playing Dragonbane. But as I was playing, I started thinking all of these skills are honestly unnecessary. And again, I'm still going to keep playing Dragonbane. But in order to have tons and tons of fun, all these skills are definitely not necessary. So I love the simplicity. And then it has HP. I thought it was hit points, but it's called hit protection. So you just roll your d6 for your hit protection. This is the damage, of course, your mouse can shrug off before taking serious harm. And you roll a d6 for your pips. And pips are the basic currency of the mouse kingdom. And then of course you're going to roll for your background. When you have your starting equip, your mouse starts off with torches, rations, 2 items from their background, and a weapon of your choice, which is cool. And then you've got details. So you can roll on like your birth sign, which is interesting, your physical detail, and of course your name. Now I love coming up with my own random name. And then of course it goes in an inventory, and this one has inventory slots. So your mouse carries items in their inventory slot. Most items take up 1 inventory slot. Some items, such as 2-handed weapons and armor, take up 2 slots. And you've got paw slots. Items in these slots are carried. Body slots, worn items can be swapped with paw slots as a free action. And then pack slots. Items in these slots take time to retrieve when under pressure. While in combat, your mouse must use an action instead of attacking to find an item in their pack. And then you've definitely got conditions. Conditions are negative effects suffered by your mouse. Each condition must be placed in an inventory slot. Mice may have multiple copies of the same condition. Some conditions have additional effects, which apply as long as the condition remains in your inventory. This is interesting. Usage. So most items have 3 usage dots. When all 3 dots are marked on an item, it is depleted or destroyed. So for instance, weapons, armor, and ammunition. After a fight, you roll a d6 for each item that was used during the fight. And on a 4 to 6, mark usage. Encumbrance. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So if your mouse is carrying more items or conditions than available inventory slots, they are encumbered. While encumbered, your mouse cannot make all saves with they make all saves with disadvantage. I like this right here, the banking system. The first time I saw a banking system in a tabletop RPG was in For Against Darkness, which is definitely still one of my favorite solo games to play. So in a mouse settlement, pips, which is your currency, and items can be stored in a bank or a safe box. Your mouse must pay a fee of 1% of the value when retrieving the stored pips or items. And then of course you've got your weapons: improvised, light ranged, heavy, medium, heavy range, and your armor. You've got essential items, which is of course your torches and lanterns, rations, and I like this, your pip purse. It holds up to 250 pips, which again is your currency. So it's pretty cool. And the next up is how to play. I like this right here. The best practices: ask a lot of questions, work together, dice are dangerous, play to win. And it also says delight in losing, fight dirty, run, die, roll a new mouse. So next thing, I think for the most part, you're going to do save. So when you describe your mouse doing something risky, where the outcome is uncertain and failure has consequences, the GM may ask you to make a save against either your strength, your dexterity, or your will. So of course you're going to roll a d20, but this one you're going to roll less than or equal to the relevant attribute for your mouse to succeed. It does have opposed saves. So if your mouse and another character are competing, you both make saves. The lowest successful, of course, wins the roll. You've got advantage and disadvantage. Combat is dangerous, but sometimes it cannot be avoided. When it comes to like initiative, if attacking an unsuspected foe, your mouse and any allies aware of the plan go first. Otherwise, you make a dexterity save to act before your opponents following rounds and maintain this order. So on your turn, you can move up to 12 inches and perform an action. Attacks always hit, which probably lets you know off the bat that you should probably take care in throwing yourself into battle, which I like that because it causes you to think outside of the box. That's what I really appreciate about OSR games, just these light rule system games. Kieran being another one of my favorites. I like how simple the rules are because it gives room, or allows room, for so much more creativity. I understand more now the role that OSR games play in light rule systems. So if you've never played an OSR game or a light rule system, I suggest that give it a try. It might actually test your creativity or expand your creativity. So definitely give it a chance. Kieran is definitely, I have a review on Kieran. I'm currently running Kieran solo. It is a fantastic game, super simple, very light. So definitely give it a try. I like Mausritter a lot. I like the mechanics. I like how simple they are, but I also like how different they are from other OSR games that I've tested out. You've got your hit protection and your damage. Damage is dealt first to the creature's hit protection, and then once the hit protection is depleted, it starts to take from your strength. So the attributes score, loss, and death. If a creature has their strength reduced to 0, they are dead. If dex is reduced to 0, they are unable to move. If will is reduced to 0, they are reduced to insensibility. So when your mouse dies, of course, you just roll a new rest and healing, of course. We're not going to go into it because this is just a quick review, and I don't want to take too much from you actually exploring the book as well. And they've got a section for your time, rounds, turn, exploration, and watch. And you've got overland travel, and then you've got advancement, so you can level up your character. And it goes by experience points. Your mouse earns experience points by bringing treasure and useful goods back from places of danger to the safety of a mouse settlement. And then you've got grit. So grit is starting at second level, your character has grit. This allows your mouse to ignore conditions, which is super cool. And then you've got magic. So spells are living spirits trapped by runes carved on obsidian tablets. I love obsidian. Spells are usually found in deep, dangerous places. The creature of spells is an art lost to all but the most learned wizards, and they guard their secrets closely. To cast a spell, your mouse must hold the tablet in a paw and read it out loud. When the mouse casts a spell, decide on the power to cast with up to the number of usage slots remaining on the spell. This is interesting. Miscast. Whenever one or more sixes are rolled when casting a spell, the caster takes d6 damage to will for each 6 rolled. Then make a will save. If failed, take the drained condition. So even using magic is dangerous. You've got a list of your spells right here. Look at that. Fireball, magic missile, my favorites. And then you can also recruit help, which is super cool. Hirelings. In a mouse settlement, you can spend a day asking around for mice looking for work. Typical hirelings will have their own stats. So here are a list of different hirelings that you can possibly run into depending on the size of your settlement. And hireling morale, I like this. When a hireling or warband is placed in a stressful situation, made to go without pay or food, or something asked to do something more dangerous than what they signed up for, they must make a will save or flee. And your hireling can also advance, which is super cool. Hirelings and warbands can improve the same way that your player mice do. So, and warbands, so a mouse is very small, and many beasts cannot be defeated working alone. When mice work together, they can form a warband and act on a scale capable of facing other warbands or large beasts like cats or boars. So you've got constructions too, which is super cool. The right to build on land cannot be bought. It can only be given or taken and defended. So a team of 3 tunnel diggers can excavate 1 6-inch cube of soil per day. Other materials take twice as long. And you've got a list of the different size rooms and the cost of them. And I like this right here. It's got examples of play. And then you've got game master resources. So you have everything that you kind of need in this book. So you've got running a game, creating situations, not plots, which I think is a super cool idea. And let me tell you, I've been reading this book right here, and this is a really, really cool book. It has some really cool information on OSR games and running OSR games. This is a really cool game. Rediscovering the content of old school gaming. What is old school style play? Using the principles. It's a very interesting book. But it reminded me when I read this part right here, creating situations and not plots. Let the players find their own adventure. Don't railroad them onto a particular path. Give the players the space to choose the challenges they are interested in. Present the world honestly. As the GM, you are the eyes, ears, and nose, which is a great reminder for myself. You've also got luck rolls. Luck rolls are for events that have an unpredictable outcome. Luck rolls are for events that have an unpredictable outcome outside of a strength, dex, or will save. And then rulings. I like this. When the rules of Mausritter will not cover every situation you and the players come across, and some parts have been kept intentionally vague. When this happens, adapt one of your existing tools to the purpose, or create a new one, making note of the ruling for future use. You got a lot of other information. This book has some really cool tables. You've got weather right here, reactions, and right here you've got a list. You got a small bestiary. I think that's what you call it. That's how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure, but you got a list of different creatures you can throw into your game, which is super cool. I think the artwork in here is very cool. And then you've got a Hex Craw toolbox, a Hex Craw toolbox. So it teaches you kind of how to create your hex, how to fill it in, create factions, detail adventure sites, seed rumors, create encounter table, and running a Hex Craw, your first session. It's got some really cool information in here for game masters. In such a small book, you got hex contents as well, landmarks, landmark details, and of course a hex type, which is super cool, and mouse settlements. It's got some. I'm telling you, when I say, I think you can absolutely create an adventure with just using this book. So you've got your rules and a way to create an adventure, all and your game master guide, all in your bestiary, all in one book. Got mouse settlements, settlement details, size, the governance, settlement names, seeds, taverns, and inns. It's got a section for factions. Factions are large forces outside the control of the player mice. They help create a feeling of a living world. So give you options of a few different factions to choose from. And then you have an example of a Hex Craw, which is super, super cool. I love the example that it gives, the encounters, the rules, the rumors, and then a list of each location. Adventure Site Toolbox. Adventure sites are those dangerous places that only the bravest of mouse adventurers dare to scurry. They form the core of most Mausritter adventures. And it gives you a layout, create the theme, choosing your factions and its goals, drawing your map, stocking your rules, creating an encounter table, and then it has a adventure site theme, a nice table. I love tables. Randomly stock your rooms. You've got different room types, which is cool. Obstacle, trap, puzzle, or layer. And you've got a list of treasures, your magic swords, your cursed swords, which is cool. And then you have an example adventure site. You can't beat that. This you can absolutely use to create your own adventure with Mausritter. And it's such a simple system. And then the different locations, of course, and an encounter table that you can roll on. And of course, what's going on here. And you've got useful tables, non-player mice. You've got adventure seeds, spark inspiration for adventure. You roll once and read across, or roll individually for each column and combine. And you've got a table of seasons and also your rules reference, which I can always appreciate. But it's not necessarily needed because of how simple it is. But having just a one page with everything, the majority of stuff that you would necessarily need, especially for the player, I think is a great idea. And that is the gist of Mausritter. I hope you give it a try. It's a great book. It's a great system. I love it. I'm looking forward to playing it solo and with a group. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you take the time out to check out Mausritter. It's got some really, really cool mechanics, and I'm excited to run it soon. And I'm excited to play it. More than likely, I will definitely play it solo. So definitely stay tuned to that. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment and make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Sending you guys all lots and lots of love and lots of positive energy. See you guys back here, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week on Friday. Okay? Peace.